Okay, I want to look at photoshopping a photo I've taken in Photoshop. Maybe something we want to use for an advertisement or something. We're hoping to get something along this lines. I started off just taking a photograph with my camera using an infinity curve, or a bent piece of paper as we call it, which is a nice thing to take an image on because you don't get any hard shadow lines, but we are going to have to crop out the background. So I'm just going to grab the cropping tool and just shuffle the edges in until we can get rid of some of this background, which we don't really need. Something like that will be fine for our purposes. Next we need to make a selection around it. A lot of different ways to make a selection, but I'm going to try and use the pen tool. Now the pen tool we can left click around the shape with, and we can drag here and there if required. Just left clicking and dragging, pulling out a handle, holding down the left cursor. Keep dragging and following the curve round. I'm going to use Alt to move this handle around here. Left click and drag, left click. It's easy left clicking when you're on straight lines. Virtually straight, and we've got a complete path all the way around it. Next we need to turn this into a selection. So I think we can click on Add Layer Mask, and then we need to select and mask. That's what we wanted. Oh, I'm an idiot. I've jumped the gun. We don't want that. Bin that. Select and mask. There we go. Oh, what are we doing wrong here? Let's right click that, make selection. There we go, right click, make selection. Now we've got the marching ants, and we're going to do is select and mask. A lot of different options how we're going to view the scene. The Photoshop we've got at college is an older version, so it doesn't have this feature, but it's got something similar which I shall point out there and then. And this allows us to go in and look a bit closer at our selection. I've actually not done a bad job there, but we have the option of feathering our selection. If you see, turn it right up, it goes a bit crazy. We can also we can shift the edge. So what I like to do, if I'm able to figure out which way to take it, is I want to shift my selection in slightly, and then just feather it a little bit. I'm not seeing anything happening there. Oh yes, it's slightly feathered. That's fine. It's just subtle. So we've got our selection made. Now I want to get the marquee tool and just right click on my selection and do layer via cut. Layer via copy, in fact, because I've not made a backup of my original layer. So we'll call this handle. So we've got the handle there, and this is like the original. This is our original image. I'm going to make a duplicate of the original image. Right click, duplicate. Next thing I want to do is I want to make the shadow. Now, obviously this image has already got the shadow in it. So on my original copy, I'm going to try and get rid of the screwdriver leaving the shadow. To do that, I want to use my ink dropper tool, wherever it's gone. Ink dropper tool, and I want a paintbrush with a nice soft edge. That one will do. Oops. didn't select any of the background colour, so I'm going to click there on the white. Then on my paintbrush tool, let's turn off caps lock. And what is wrong with Photoshop today? Oh, my brush is massive. That's what's wrong with Photoshop. Oh. There we go. It was like 3,000 wide, so it was much bigger than my canvas, so I couldn't see it at all. You can look up here, you can see the dimensions of the thing. While I was feverishly hammering at buttons, if caps lock is turned on, the cursor turns into a cross rather than a brush shape. So I'm just going to start painting. Oh, where's my brush gone? Painting over some of this stuff we don't want. So I'm just kind of painting out in pretty much the same colour as the background paper, just to hide this screwdriver, because we don't really want to see this. Just leaving the shadow if possible. Doesn't need to be too perfect, but that's fine. That's probably doing it. I also want to make this image an overlay before I forget. I want to desaturate it. Image adjustments, desaturate. This removes all the colour out of it and makes it just pretty much, well, black and white, or grayscaled, if you will. Next, I'm gonna bring up a levels thing. I'm going to click that little button so it's only affecting this level. I want to make it lighter so it's quite pale and not too yeah, something like that will do. So now we've got the screwdriver in a nice clear white background, but I don't want to leave it on a white background. Oh, I also want to fix up this photograph as well, so see, there's an awful lot of scratches and stuff on here, which doesn't look very professional. So let's have a look at some of the photoshopping tools we can use. A favourite on here is the spot healing brush. It's good for getting rid of spots. Oh, so this one automatically selects an area. Sometimes you alt click on these things, but if you just click on these dots, and easily they disappear. Let's have a go at this one over here. And this is just automatically sampling from around the pixels you're trying to paint out, and it does its best guess at fixing it. It's actually not too bad. Quite like that. One of the other options we have is the clone stamp tool, which I think is an older tool. Now this one does work by alt selecting an area. At the moment we've got an area of blue selected, so you can see that piece of blue on the cursor. What we can do with this, when you hold down alt, it turns into a target, and then you can kind of paint that area. I'm going to make another selection again over the area you're going, so it's like copying pasting but on a small scale. So I can select from here and just kind of paint in and remove any nasty bits, which is quite nice. I wonder if we can select that area and paint it over there, or whether that'll look horrible. Looks a bit horrible. It's not too bad, but it's not great. Keep clicking and cleaning up the image where required. I'm going to go back to the spot healing brush because it's actually doing a better job. The newer and newer versions of Photoshop, a lot of these features are just improved and improved. Habit of alt clicking. You can also change the mode from normal to multiply and whatever, and you can also sample other layers. So you've got more than one image under there. You might want to be pulling colour from further through it. Right, what else do we want to do on here? Let's put in a new layer. Just there. Now I want to fill this layer with a colour. I'm going to select let's get myself on the screwdriver so I'm actually selecting some of these colours. As I left click and drag, I can actually see what kind of colour I've got picked. I'm looking for like a nice lightish blue out of here. Let's go with one of those, that's quite nice. So I'm going to select my layer, get myself on the paintbrush tool and do a fill. Now, curiously, I've not filled the middle of that, so we'll just go in and manually catch it. Right, so we've got our image on a nice clean blue background. And it's looking fairly okay. No, the closer this is to white, the less of a change you'll get to the actual colour. So it's still doing quite a significant change between the blue, but we shall live with it for now. Now something else we might like to do on this, if we throw up another layer on top of this layer, let's get another colour picker out here. Let's get the eyedropper tool. I'm going to pick this kind of really light blue from here. I'm going to make myself a really big soft brush. I'm going to use the square brackets to I'm just going to kind of dab it there. Oh, sign of intelligence. Create a new layer, painted on the wrong layer. So Control Z to undo, and just go down, and it creates like a bit of a light pool, kind of highlight to the thing. Now I'm going to back off the opacity on this so it's a bit more subtle. Something around that. It's probably about right. And I think we're looking fairly good because we softened the selection when we cut this thing out. It's actually looking quite nice around the edge of this. If you're getting too many hard edges, you can go over here and go to the blur tool and just kind of draw a slightly blurred edge around it, which makes it the whole thing look a little bit less photoshopped and just a touch more natural. That will do us for now. Thank you for watching.